Hey guys, KS coming at you today. How you doing today? Hope you're doing alright. I know I'm doing okay. Hey guys, want to talk about what's going on next week, the vote, and what's going on right now with Hillary and Trump. And I'm wearing my glasses because, hey, I'm getting older. And I've got some notes here so I can stay on track. So, without any further ado, let's get started. And first of all, we're going to start out by talking about Hillary. And everything that's going on with Hillary right now, it is just, it seems like it's falling apart for Hillary, at least those who are paying attention. It would seem like it's falling apart, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's over for her. There are still people supporting Hillary. I find it amazing as I drive around town. I still see signs in the front lawns of some people who are Hillary supporters and who are still voting for Hillary. I just find it absolutely amazing that is happening. But you know, why do people specifically vote for one particular party? And that is honestly, you know, they just want to be, you know, right. They want to be correct. You know, they have it in their mind that you know, I am a Democrat and I don't care who the candidate is, I am voting the Democrat Party. If Trump was the Democrat and these people are Democrats, they would vote for Trump because he is the Democrat of the party. And it just kind of bothers me that, you know, people cannot see what's really going on. It doesn't matter how much corruption there is. You know, they have it in their mind that they are a Democrat and they can only vote Democrat. Period. I have a lot of friends that are in that situation and they're actually doing that. Now, we all know, for those who are awake, and even if you're not awake, we know how deep the corruption goes. The murders and the lies that are tied to the Clintons, the Clinton Foundation. There's a lot of movies out there like Clinton Cash and things like that that really show the corruption. We have the emails of what's going on. We've had a lot of politicians speak out about that. And it's just really boggling that she still may be on the ballot. And that's another thing we got to worry about is, you know, is the election even going to take place? We know that Obama wants to stay in office. It's getting down to the final days here. Will there be an election or will Obama stay in office? It's really a toss-up at this point. You know, what really kind of surprises me, shifting gears, talking about Trump now, is that some of the people who are awake are even fooled by Trump. You know, I'm not fooled by Trump at all. I've said all along that he's there because the elite want him there. And I'm going to make some great points here. Is that, you know, let's look at America's past history when politicians have stepped out of line and people who aren't even politicians who have stepped out of line and what has happened to them. Obviously, we're going to talk about Kennedy. Kennedy separated the Federal Reserve from the U.S. government. He did a lot of things that were anti-New World Order. He created the silver certificates. He separated the Federal Reserve from the U.S. government. He did a lot of things, and therefore they eliminated him. Another person that comes to mind is John Lennon. A lot of people don't realize or may not know that John Lennon was going to run for the U.S. Senate. He was becoming very, very political after his music career, and he was going to run for Senate for the United States. And I honestly think that if he got in there as a senator, he would have changed a lot of things that were going on. This is why John Lennon was assassinated. He was taken out. He was eliminated by the elite. Let's take a look at another person, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a great person. He was shot. At one point in time in his presidency, he was not following orders as said to follow. And what did they do? They tried to eliminate him. There was an assassination attempt that failed, but they did eventually shoot him. And then what came of that is a lot of people don't realize that the NAFTA agreement was drafted by Ronald Reagan, and the NAFTA agreement was one of the biggest things that has destroyed America. Again, it ties into the greater plan with the destruction of America. And then, the last person who recently has really tried to change things in the U.S. government was Ross Perot. Now, looking back when Ross Perot was trying to run for president, he was actually at one point doing very, very well. And then mysteriously and suddenly, he almost basically stopped promoting himself. He stopped promoting himself. He pretty much cut back on the promotion of him running for president. And then, as we all know, that he was not elected president. And it just seemed kind of strange how he just slowly became very subtle about his presidency. And one would have to think that he was threatened as to not to go forward with this plan, because honestly, I think he would have been president had he not been threatened. Now, it is rumored that he and his family's lives were threatened by the elite, by the New World Order, and that is why he actually stepped down in his presidency campaign. He actually slowed that down. But, getting back to Trump per se, what really surprises me is how many people who are awake actually believe in Trump and can't see that he's there because they want him to be there. People keep saying, he's exposing the truth, he's exposing the corruption, he's exposing what's really going on in the White House and U.S. politics. For those of us who are awake, we've already known this for years and years and years. This information is nothing new to us. It's nothing new to me. I've been trying to tell this to people since 2009, how corrupt the American government is, how 9/11 was an inside job and all this other stuff, but people don't want to listen. Now all of a sudden you got Donald Trump who's saying some of what I just said, and people are all ears and they think that he's not controlled by the elite. I mean, who are you kidding here? I mean, seriously, who are you kidding? Because you're not kidding me. If they didn't want Trump running, trust me, he would not be running. He is clearly a part of this agenda, whether you want to believe that or not. Now I understand that he may or may not be able to be controlled as much as other people in the past, but I firmly believe that he is there because they want him there. All the candidates are selected, and this is what they came up with. Now, again, Trump, he has a lot of power, he's got a lot of money, he's not a politician, and these are some of the things that people are looking at as to saying why the elite are in a scramble as to why he's running for president. But I don't believe that at all. I honestly believe that he's part of the program. And do you really think that the elite and the New World Order would allow one single person like Trump to come in and destroy what they've worked on for the last 60, 80, 100 years? There is no doubt in my mind that they would not let this happen by happenstance. There's no way that Trump is running and that the people who are supporting Trump and Trump himself are going to bring down the New World Order or even change the elite. There is no way that that's going to happen. Now, what I want to point out is what Mike Pence has said about ISIS and what Trump has said about ISIS. And I made a video, it will be underneath. I made a video about 6 months ago where Trump said live on TV, a live Hannity interview, where Trump said that he would continue the illegal Middle East wars. And not only that, Mike Pence has said that as well. And basically, I want to show you a comparison between Donald Rumsfeld and what he said and what Mike Pence has said. So here's that clip right now. I want you to watch that.
So they have a really delicate balance to walk between keeping us relatively fearful, but not so fearful that we stop what we're doing and really examine how it is that they've been waging.
There are a lot of people who lie and get away with it. And that we will in fact find weapons or evidence of weapons programs that are conclusive.
I don't think we'll discover anything myself.
It appears that there were not weapons of mass destruction there.
You said you knew where they were.
I did not.
We know where they are. They're in the area around Tikrit and Baghdad and east, west, south, and north. We know where they are. We know where they are. We know where they are.
How do we defeat radical Islam? And we do have to mention who they are. That's got to be a first step. What do you think of the fact that Hillary and Barack Obama do not? Donald Trump does. How do we defeat them? Your running mate, the president, your presumptive nominee has said, we've got to do whatever it takes and bomb the living out of them.
We've got to exercise the full strength of the United States of America, diplomatically and militarily. This is a military enemy. What happened in Orlando, what just happened in Nice, these are terrorist attacks that are inspired by a military organization. And we have to recognize that we are in a struggle. It's an ism, and we have to recognize and speak plainly about the impact and the influence of radical Islam. But let's focus on the enemy. The enemy is ISIS. We know where they are. We know where they are. We know where they are.
All right, guys, thanks for watching the clip, and I just want to continue by saying that, you know, there's no difference between the current people who are running for president and what's happened in the past. Mike Pence clearly says, you know, we are going to do everything we can to keep destroying the Middle East. Okay, well, that's part of the plan. That's part of the current plan. So how is Donald Trump and Pence going to change anything? They're not. They've openly spoken that they're going to keep the plans that are in order. They are going to move forward with what the elite want. And I don't understand how people who are currently awake are being fooled by Donald Trump. I just don't get it. You know, in what Pence said is basically just like what Obama said in his first presidency. In fact, Obama said he was going to end the Middle East wars, which obviously was a lie because now they've been elevated. You know, like I said, Bush talked about the Middle East wars, Rumsfeld talked about the Middle East wars, and so now the Middle East wars are going to lead to World War III, which is what I want to talk about now. Before I end the video, just want to touch on this. You know, Russia is preparing for World War III, and they have a new Satan II bomb. This is a new nuclear warhead or a new nuclear bomb that they have, and there'll be a clip underneath. Click on the link for it. And you know, Russia is getting ready for World War III. They have this new Satan bomb that says that the energy wave would take out a state the size of Texas or an area the size of Texas, depending on where it would hit. And that is such a massive area of destruction from one nuclear bomb. The area the size of Texas, if you know 2 or 3 or 4 of those actually hit the United States, would be extremely devastating. Not to mention the repercussions of the fallout and everything else from that. So this Satan bomb that Russia now has is very, very scary. And you know, we are on the footstep of World War III. Russia has came out and said that if Hillary Clinton is elected president, that they are not going to wait. They are going to move forward for plans of World War III. Now, if Trump gets elected, I don't know what their stance is on that. Maybe they won't be as ambitious to start World War III, but you know, this is where this is going. The vote is next week. There's a lot on the table. All the corruption with Hillary Clinton and all of what's going on. Obama wants to stay in office. That is a known fact. It's not a surprise. But folks, I just really want you to click the links underneath, and I appreciate your time. And I just want you to stay vigilant, pay attention to what's going on. These are very critical times that we live in right now, and just eyes and ears open. Let's pay attention to the news. Let's see what's going on. Be awake, be aware.